Sheldon Baker, and welcome to the 420 area code. We've got another great show for you today. My guest is Elyse Alexander, and she's with an organization, or founded an organization that's based in San Francisco. And to know more about it, you'll have to stick around. Come on back after this important message.
Not all hemp oils are created equal. Let Verdant Oasis show you why. Verdant Oasis is a vertically integrated hemp-centric raw material grower, manufacturer, and supplier. We oversee every step from soil to oil. Verdant strains are genotyped and registered by government-regulated seed banks. Our operations are HACCP and GMP certified by SGS International. Verdant Oasis has the most comprehensive global safety dossier for hemp extract, setting the benchmark for FDA acceptance and NDI compliance, the gateway to the food and beverage industry. Our hemp oil ingredients are accepted and authorized by the FDA, USDA, and DEA for interstate commerce throughout the United States. In the UK and EU, our extract is authorized as a novel food. Wholesome and pure, backed by science, legally compliant, and fully integrated with a dedicated innovation center to serve your unique marketing objectives. To learn more about the Verdant difference, visit our website at www.verdantoasis.com. Verdant Oasis, the essence of hemp.
Welcome back. I'm Sheldon Baker, and you are watching the 420 area code. And my guest today is Elyse Alexander. She is the founder of Burning Pure. She's also a public speaker and a business and wellness coach. Elyse, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Sheldon. I'm so excited.
Well, I'm excited too. We had a chance to meet a couple months ago in San Francisco at a cannabis conference, and very interested in what you're doing. What are you doing? Why don't you tell our audience a little bit or a lot about the Burning Pure?
I would love to. So Burning Pure for me really came about because I started to experience this sense of loneliness while trying to create something. And I don't know about you or anyone else out there, but when you're just kind of meant for more and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, gosh darn it, why is there still more that I'm meant to do? Is this really it? And I loved what I did, Sheldon. I went to culinary school. I specialized in being a chocolatier, but I knew still that the way that things were going and the way that I was living my life and the way that I was investing, it wasn't going to work out the way that I wanted it to, because things were just changing. And I didn't want to work a 9-to-5 job anymore. I didn't want to have a boss anymore. And I really wanted to have community. But being a solo entrepreneur, let's be honest, is hard. It's so difficult in this world because you're doing everything by yourself all of the time. So with being 27, knowing that I wanted to create something where people could come around and feel comfortable and also get educated and also talk about the fact that they were a cannabis consumer and that they valued that and that they also wanted to create a business and really change the world. And that is really where Burning Pure came from for me, because it is a community for aspiring female entrepreneurs who value cannabis and wellness. And the one thing that I realized was that we all get a huge step in our own way. We can't get past that. And I've met hundreds of women, Sheldon, at this point that were like, hey, Elyse, I made this product, I did this thing, but then I never launched it because I was so afraid of what everyone else thought of me. I was so afraid about the fact that I didn't have enough money to keep going. And I really couldn't push past the fear of what everyone else was going to say about me, that I was going to hold back my impact. And I was doing this too, Sheldon. So I was like, okay, no more. So I established Burning Pure as an LLC, so that women could have a subscription and come weekly for not only just accountability, to really connect with the dream and create it, to have like-minded women who wanted to create business and who really wanted to continue in their entrepreneurial journey and continue how to learn more about business and continue upward in the ranks. And let's be honest, make more money, Sheldon, because we all want to make more money.
Well, that's always the key for everyone, whether you're a woman or a man. And so really you were ahead of the curve in that you didn't feel like working for the man anymore or the woman, and you wanted to go back out on your own. And I think you've been very successful, at least from what I can see from your website and what you've been able to share with me. And what would you can you get into a little bit what Burning Pure really stands for?
So my why for Burning Pure is really dedicated to the fact that just because someone tells you something doesn't mean that you have to be that. Because for my whole life, I feel like I was silenced in my voice and I never felt like I had one. So really connecting with the fact that everybody has a voice and that you get to use it, and you would be surprised what starts to happen when it does happen. Because we have all this conditioning, Sheldon, right, around us throughout our whole lives where people are like, no, like you can't do that, or maybe that's not the best idea for you. But think about it. Entrepreneurs run our entire country, our entire lives, and they create real change. So if I was really going to create a community and a business that could center around support, but could also create impact with the money that it was making, that is really my why for Burning Pure.
Well, that was yours. So it's a membership organization that you started, correct? Mm-hmm. And you've been working with a great number of women.
Probably almost 100 now.
That's a good number. And over what period of time?
So I would say I work with people from anywhere from, one session to, a couple of months. It just kind of depends. Personal coaching, that is private coaching, is so much more one-on-one and needed. In terms of the subscription for what I do for Burning Pure, I think that the weekly calls and having that kind of support is so structurally important, because most subscriptions and most coaching and group coaching really only has like once a month calls. And I didn't feel like that was super supportive because it's so easy to get lost.
Mm-hmm. And so can you share a little bit about some of your success stories? Obviously, you don't need to mention company names, or people, unless you'd like to. But just some of your success stories about what you've been able to do for some of your members and what type of business they've gone on to launch.
Absolutely. So, okay, other than myself, which I will get to in a second, because I believe that we are our best success stories. I believe that we push ourselves to the moment that we are meant to be in, and it is all divine timing. But I will tell you about one of my biggest success stories. Sarah Maria is a woman who absolutely speaks like business basics. So she has a company called Business Babe Basics, and she has been pushing and dedicated, but she was starting to see the struggles in being able to push out when it came to her own name, when it came to standing up and putting your own face and your own name in one thing and really saying, hey, like, this is me. And I was realizing with her and with other entrepreneurs that I've worked with specifically that we were risking our health in order to get our wealth. No sleep, continuing to kind of push and not get as many vitamins as we need. And really, like, Sarah and I connected on such a deep level that now, after working with me and after really pushing out of her own spaces, this girl launched today on Entrepreneur Magazine cover in Arizona.
Fantastic.
And I am so proud. Like, there is no bounds to what people can be when you show them that their mind is actually the stopping point. So I would say that there's several different other scenarios that I can talk about with other clients to where maybe they didn't feel comfortable being either on the screen, either having a conversation in front of someone about maybe something that was uncomfortable, say like cannabis, or say like being a female entrepreneur in the space. Let's be honest, it's just uncomfortable to be here. So a lot of my clients really just want like that breath to know that they have the permission to do so, that they are able to continue on that path, and that I truly build up not only their confidence, their mindset, their ability to continue when they don't feel like it, and really a game plan on how to get there, whether it's financially or mindset-wise.
And what's the tie-in with cannabis other than smoking it or ingesting it? Does every does everybody does every female entrepreneur have to have some kind of a tie to cannabis from a business standpoint?
So I would say not everybody that I help, Sheldon, definitely does not have a total cannabis background. But I will say for Burning Pure as a community, there is strength in numbers and realizing what an opportunity it is to surround other women with other women who value cannabis. And for me, that's the key word, Sheldon, is value cannabis. Not every woman inhalates. Not every woman uses tincture. Not every woman uses edibles. There's a totally different range of everyone in my group because I do truly believe that it's about the power of the medicine. And it's about the fact that we get to be entrepreneurs and we get to also be medical patients. We get to be entrepreneurs and we get to consume cannabis because there's such a dirty stigma around those two things being in the same word. So that is truly for me why the community became so valuable, because you get to be all of yourself. You get to use cannabis and not let it be the thing that defines you. I think a lot of people thought that the community that I was creating was strictly for women of cannabis and strictly for people who were in the cannabis space, in cannabis businesses. But there's so many more of us out there, Sheldon. There's so many female entrepreneurs who are doing different businesses who just generally value cannabis.
Yeah, fantastic. Are mostly members from the Bay Area, or do they come from other parts of the country?
No, so I actually have international members now, which is super exciting because I think like we all think, Sheldon, that there's someone across the world that we have no idea that they're actually dealing with similar things, if not the same thing. And there's such power and grace when you show someone else, hey, like I may live on the other side of the world from you, but I'm actually dealing with the same things. So once I started to get myself out there, my clientele opened up immediately into like every different market that you could possibly imagine.
And then you have weekly meetings, virtual meetings, is that correct?
Yes. So we do weekly meetings every Monday. There's also co-working calls because there's such a power also in having other women surrounded by each other doing work, not even talking, Sheldon, but the energy of all of us kind of making sure that we put that time to dedicate towards that project, because a lot of it gets lost when we're doing our schedule during the week and we're like, I don't know. I also do monthly calls for new people who want to join because I think it's also important for them to kind of feel it out, for them to kind of get to know you before you start having people in a place where they're around you all the time, right? Like we kind of want to get to know someone before we're ready for them. And I am also going to be starting events as of the end of this year. So we have so much on board.
And we're almost there. We're already in February, so we're getting there very, very quickly. And so how do people find out about you?
So I have not only a webpage and an Instagram, but the webpage is actually www.burningpure.com. There you can find all the information with working with me one-on-one, being in the Burning Pure Hype Squad, which is something that is so exciting and everyone's going to enjoy, as well as finding me on Instagram, Burning Pure on Instagram, as well as Mini Elyse is my personal page. There's a link tree on there as well.
And that's the best place. That's the best way for people to reach you, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a short break here. And when we come back, we'll talk more to Elyse Alexander of Burning Pure, find out about how she's able to help female entrepreneurs in the world, not only here in the U.S., but globally as well. So stick around. Come on back.
Not all hemp oils are created equal. Let Verdant Oasis show you why. Verdant Oasis is a vertically integrated hemp-centric raw material grower, manufacturer, and supplier. We oversee every step from soil to oil. Verdant strains are genotyped and registered by government-regulated seed banks. Our operations are HACCP and GMP certified by SGS International. Verdant Oasis has the most comprehensive global safety dossier for hemp extract, setting the benchmark for FDA acceptance and NDI compliance, the gateway to the food and beverage industry. Our hemp oil ingredients are accepted and authorized by the FDA, USDA, and DEA for interstate commerce throughout the United States. In the UK and EU, our extract is authorized as a novel food. Wholesome and pure, backed by science, legally compliant, and fully integrated with a dedicated innovation center to serve your unique marketing objectives. To learn more about the Verdent difference, visit our website at www.verdentoasis.com. Verdent Oasis, the essence of hemp.
We're back. I'm Sheldon Baker. You're watching, of course, the 420 area code, and my guest today is Elyse Alexander of Burning Pure, and great having you here today, Elyse. You talk about community a lot. That's pretty important, isn't it?
Oh, Sheldon, if people only knew how important community is, think about how many people who create products or who launch movies or who do all these things, and then they don't have the people there to back them up and support them. And that is really what community is it's having people to not only fill up your cup and let you know that you're in the right direction, it's telling people, hey, like, I'm actually giving you what you need. I'm not creating something that I think you need. Community gives you the opportunity to speak directly with people and figure out exactly what they are looking for. Because when you fill a need in the market, that's the sweet sauce. That's exactly what gives you what you're looking for. It gives you consistency. It gives you the ability to continually make money over time. And it gives you the opportunity to kind of like help as many people as possible. So community is actually the thing that should be created first, because when you get people to support you and back you up and understand who you are and cheer for you in the background, then it may be louder than everything else. It may be louder and give you the ability to step into your own greatness.
And so when you were in the food business or getting into it, were you always just bubbly and cheerful and optimistic?
I think I've always been very bubbly and cheerful, but I think because of the environments being so off, Sheldon, and being so toxic, if I'm being honest, there really wasn't the opportunity for this to be me, for this to be my space, because there was always, oh, well, why is she that way? Or why do you think she's doing that? When you can be an entrepreneur, it's just you are who you are. People accept you at face value. So it's given me the chance to be me.
And your me or yourself is pretty good.
I think.
From a cannabis standpoint,
Yeah.
how does that help someone be themselves or be more themselves, perhaps, if that's the way to look at it?
100%. Great question. Because I think that people think that cannabis is maybe like used for one of three reasons. Number one, to get high. And number two, to say that you're using it for medical purposes, but you're not. And number three, to actually help you with something. And I think the issue that a lot of people see this as is that if you use it for medical purposes, that it can't be of any other use. And for me, since I've had a medical card for the last couple of years, it has helped me with anxiety. It has helped me with the fact that I used to be the person who didn't want to be on camera. I used to be the person who didn't want my name in lights. It was just not something that I felt comfortable doing. And with cannabis, I have the ability to stand in my own and to speak my truth and to be confident in that and to really be honest about what it is that I share and what it is that you can create from plant medicine. So to me, I believe that cannabis can give you a lot of things, including well sleep, including the ability to step into your power, including the ability to feel comfortable, like physically just feeling comfortable. I know that a lot of us, including especially women, are really uncomfortable after eating or before eating or something in that vicinity. And cannabis has really helped me not feel uncomfortable anymore. There's not that like strict, constricted feeling where you're like sitting in the corner and you just don't feel like doing it. Because let's be honest, most of the time, you don't really feel like doing it, even in a business. You just that retention of that ability of like, oh yeah, I feel like doing it. It's just not there. And cannabis gives me that ability to wake up every morning and be like, okay, let's do it. Let's refresh, let's reframe, and let's get back to the point of impact, because that's really what we're here for.
And so contrary to what the experts or the so-called experts say about cannabis, it hasn't affected your brain cells, has it?
I don't think so. And I'm going to say this with confidence, because I think that there's something to the effect of that people think smoking cannabis is just bad for you and that like you just shouldn't do it. But yet there's so many other things that we do, like drinking, that are not neuroplasticity oriented. And yet there's all this frowning and all of these sad things said about cannabis. And I think that, listen, experts are experts. Everyone's going to know that, that we don't do enough education or testing and trials around cannabis, which is exactly what I'm trying to bring to the forefront of the world, that we need to do more testing. We need to do more education, because if people knew what the endocannabinoid system for humans could do, and that really is what the experts should be focusing on, since we already have it inside of us, then that's where we go. But I would say, have I killed any brain cells by smoking rather than doing any of the other things that I've done in my life? No, I would say that they're still pretty good up there. Both my grandparents got diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's very, very early on in life. And I think that really struck a chord with me to want to take care of myself, to really want to connect to my brain health, to really understand that health and wealth are just as important, which is one of the reasons I started Burning Pure.
Yeah, great, fantastic. How about mentorship? You've talked about the importance of paying for a mentor. Everybody's always looking for a freebie, but you've talked about the importance of paying and also finding a mentor or a person that you really click with.
Well, and how many of us, Sheldon, have been like, I'm really looking for someone that likes me or that has been on the same path as me, but raise your hand for everyone who's definitely been there and not found a mentor, or maybe found the wrong mentor and it didn't go very well and you didn't know what to do then. Because I think that there's such a big statement to be said about mentors. How do you go where you want to go, Sheldon? You find someone who's already been there, who already has results verified on how to get there, whether it is financially, whether it is business-wise. Everyone has done that. They've found someone that they kind of idolize and backtrack their lines. So for me, mentorship is really about getting ready for the next round of humans in this universe, to be ready for our energy, to be ready for our education, and to be ready for the fact that they're next. They're next. So how are they going to figure it out? How do you find the right mentor? For me, I started with Google because I am 27 and we ask all of our questions on Google. So I was like, hey, how do you find the right mentor? And I realized that there are actually hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of mentors, but what are you looking to learn? And are you looking to get specific and consistent on what you're looking to learn? Because what I realized is that I wanted to start off with all the free stuff, Sheldon. I was like, no, give me the free this, give me the free pamphlet, give me the free notebook. But what they don't tell you is that it is not until you invest one-on-one until you actually have true action and true change. Because when you don't invest that money and you don't have kind of that feeling on the line, then you may pull back and be like, you know what, I don't really this is making me uncomfortable. I don't really feel like doing this anymore. Because let's be honest, coaching is not about comfortability. It's about transformation. And it's about believing more in that person's transformation than they do in that moment. So for me, paying for that transformation truly makes that commitment even concrete further, because you need as much as possible to make sure you stick to that commitment. It's like being on a diet, Sheldon, and someone sitting an Oreo cookie in front of you and being like, are you sure you really don't want to eat it?
Very good. Very good. COVID, do you think it was a hindrance or did it help in any way of the women that you interface with?
Ooh, COVID. What a big conversation.
Yeah, well, we only have a few minutes, so, you don't need
100%,
to go.
100%. Okay. Do I think COVID benefited any of the women? I think that COVID gave everybody an opportunity to sit down, shut up, and take a look. I think that it was really important for the world to take stock in what was going on. And I think that that's exactly what it gave the women in my community and in my life the opportunity to do, was to take time and really look over, okay, what do they want? What do they actually want? Because when was the last time, Sheldon, that someone asked you what you actually wanted? What were your goals for this year? Instead of, what does your family want? What do your parents want? What do the people around you need from you? I think that kind of gets lost. And I think COVID gave that opportunity for people to think outside the box, because everyone does live events, everyone does conferences, and those things are coming back, don't get me wrong. But I think it gave the women in my community, as well as myself, the opportunity to realize, like, okay, there's always going to be something that comes at you, right? And you're going to always have to find a way to figure it out. And don't get me wrong, my grandfather passed from COVID. There's definitely some things, you know, that you always end up experiencing, but it's what pushes you afterwards. What's going to get you out of that bubble? What's going to push you past the thing that you didn't want to do? Because entrepreneurs are going to do the things no one else wanted to do, which is what makes them successful.
Yes, indeed. We do have just a few minutes now. Talk a little bit about the Hype Squad. You refer to that on your website.
Yeah. So, okay. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? When everyone comes into like the center of the room and there's this one guy who's like dancing and he's doing really well. And you're like, wow, like I would love to have that guy on my team. That is me. But instead of me dancing, I'm literally shouting out how amazing you are. Like, I realized that I wanted a hype squad and that other people around me also wanted hype squads. Because the thing about women, Sheldon, is that there's such a belief deep down that we do not all deserve to get to the top. And that there's such like a competition that we kind of have to like step over each other in order to get where we want to go. And the reason I created the Hype Squad was so that everybody knew that we were all on the same level, that we were all everyone's Hype Squad, that I wasn't one person or that someone else wasn't one person's Hype Squad, that we were all supporting each other because we could all get to the top at the same time. And a hype squad for me is someone who can breathe for you when you can't. Someone who can show you the things that you can't see. Like sometimes I'll list to myself, hey, Elyse, like what did you get accomplished today? What did you do today? And I'll forget like 15 to 25 things because I'm just not thinking about it. But when you have somebody else that's accountable, that can show you what you maybe forget, it might be the difference, Sheldon, between you quitting and you staying.
And on that note, we'll have to end it here. Elyse Alexander, she's the founder of Burning Pure, and if you want more information, burningpure.com is the website, and maybe we hope you'll pick up some new members. Thanks for joining us. Great having you here. Thanks to all of you out there for watching the 420 Area Code, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Sheldon.